Hello! I will let you know about codewiz and coding school programs, which are some of the good ways to implement novel engineering. From this video clip, you will learn what codewiz is composed of, its basic sensors, and coding school 3 program that enables codewiz to work. First of all, let's learn about what codewiz is and what its composition is. Let's take a look at the codewiz components you've received. These are various extensions and kits. This is connection cable to connect the sensor board to the computer, and this is the codewiz sensor board. Codewiz consists basically of a sensor board and a connecting jack. Codewiz sensor board is a small like hand and square shape of 5.5 centimeters wide and 5.5 centimeters long. You can use the connection jack to connect the coding school program on your computer with the codewiz sensor board. Codewiz has sensors on the front and the back of the codewiz that have the following functions. Let's learn about how to use codewiz in the second order of the lesson. Now, let's look at sensors one by one. First of all, this is a microphone sensor. The microphone sensor receives an ambient sound input. It also supports code blocks that can measure sound volume. The button sensor tells you if the button is pressed. It also supports code blocks that can detect two button sensors. The light sensor receives an ambient light input. It also supports code blocks to measure the intensity of light. Distance sensor tells you the distance from the codewiz. It also supports code blocks that can measure distance values. The 3-axis sensor, gyro sensor, detects the slope and receives the x, y, and z values as -19 to 90. The buzzer sensor rings the buzzer. It also supports a code block that can output a scale of 7 octaves. The touch sensor notifies you when it detects the touch. It also supports a code block that can detect 6 touch sensors. The sensor illuminates the NeoPixel, supports code blocks that can adjust the brightness of 5 NeoPixel and 256 colors. The whole sensor receives the strength of the magnet. It supports code blocks to measure the strength of the magnet. The temperature sensor detects the temperature around it. It supports code blocks to detect temperature. Outputs letters, shapes, and pictures to OLED. It also supports rich code blocks that can utilize OLED. It supports Wi-Fi. When codewiz is connected to Wi-Fi, it becomes a server so that you can control it from the web and import data from web server. Bluetooth is supported. You can control codewiz with your smartphone and by connecting codewiz to Bluetooth. Before we move on, I'd like to guys some pop quiz. Question 1. The button sensor tells you if the button is pressed. It also supports code blocks that can detect blank button sensors. So number 1, 2. Number 2, 3. Number 3, 5. Can you guess what is the answer? Think carefully. So the answer is number 1, 2. Yes, the button sensors are code blocks that can detect 2 button sensors. Yeah, you did a great job. Okay, next. So next question is, which sensor outputs letters, shapes, and pictures? Number 1, NeoPixel. Number 2, Hall sensor. Number 3, OLED. So which one is the answer? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Okay, the answer is number 3, OLED. Wow. I hope you all got the right answer. Now, let's learn about how to use Coding School 3 program in the third order of the lesson. After installing the Coding School 3 program, make sure to click the Connect Install codewiz library menu while the internet is connected. As the first step in installing the codewiz library, please unzip a file. Next, double-click ESP32 download file. Installation complete. Due to the large capacity, it may take a long time. Please double-click the Coding School 3 icon on your desktop. Please connect codewiz sensor board to your computer using a connecting jack. When you connect codewiz sensor board to computer with Windows 10 or higher, the USB driver will be installed automatically. And select Connect codewiz to connect the codewiz sensor board. Next, you can click on codewiz firmware unload. When the port is connected, the codewiz connection sensor block is automatically displayed. So now, this completes the connection between codewiz sensor board and codingschool3 program. I'll show you how to connect the sensor board with the computer. Double-click on the codingschool3 program icon. Select the language you want to use after the program runs. And then click the Connect codewiz button. Press OK to connect. Then you can see that the sensor board icon has been created. So now it's time to use codewiz to solve the problem. I hope this lesson helped you understand how to use codewiz sensor board and codingschool3 program. Thank you.